Hello there. As I'm sure you've noticed, today I am on this side of your screen, and that is because Streamer Bo is on that side of your screen. And that is because today we are going to be talking about the clip from inside that I call the video game streamer bit. So, if you haven't seen this in a while, or if you've never seen this particular clip, just for some context, this one comes pretty early in the second half of the special. So, you have the intermission, and then immediately after that, you have the short song Don't Want to Know, and then it goes directly into this bit that we're going to talk about today. So, because it's one of the non musical bits and there's not really a full video of it up on YouTube, we're going to be doing it a little bit differently, but I did find a video on YouTube that has the audio for the clip. It's not the full audio with the music, but it is at least the vocal audio. So, what I'm going to attempt to do is play that audio as I go through some different screenshots here with the subtitles, and it's not going to be perfect, but hopefully it will be at least the best approximation that we can get of watching the full clip. So we're going to do that first and go through the whole thing that way, and then we can go back and talk about it. So I'm excited for this one. I really like this bit. We'll see if we can make this work here. And I will link this video where I'm getting the audio down in the description if you would like to go check that out. But otherwise, here we go.
What's up, boys? Welcome to the stream. I'm going to be doing some live play today for the first time in a while. You guys have been wanting that, so we're going to do, but there's the title, Inside. I've got a lot of requests for this game in chat. It's some indie developer, I'm not really sure. I'm going in totally cold on this. JB, thank you for the 3 months. My dude, much appreciated. Okay. That looks pretty good, graphics-wise. I mean, I know it's a cinematic, but... Yeah, so we're going to be trying to do live plays every day this week, so tune in for that. I'm going to be gifting 30 subs at the end of the week. Day 50, 250. All right, so this dude's been in here for a while. So is this like an escape the room? Or, okay. So I can cry. So he's not happy about being in this room. I like the music. The music is actually nice on this. Controls are actually pretty smooth. So you're in this like 2D setup, right? Like I can't control the camera. I'll give it I guess I'll cry again. So is the dude big or is the room small? That's what I'm confused about. Chat saying try the door. Yeah, well, okay. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that simple, but I will. Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, I think I'd probably cry again. Yeah, it's tough, dude. It's tough. He's been in here a while. See, I don't like that. I don't know why they feel the need to give the hints so quick. I just wish they'd let me explore a little bit. What? I'm holding the flashlight like a cop. Why is he doing that? All right. Okay. So. All right. Okay. He seems a little happier now. That's nice. I don't know. I'll cry, I guess, again. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be. Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. Yeah, great. All right, I'm into this. Yeah, it's giving me sort of like Death Stranding vibes, you know, because it's like it's fucking boring, but that's like the point, I think. Dante, thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate it.
And that is the whole bit. So we're going to go back to the beginning and talk about it now. So as we can see, it starts out with it goes to black, and then it's just Bo as the streamer pops up and starts talking to his imaginary audience. And one of the first things that we see on the screen is it says SSRI Interactive Presents. And I did not know this, but I learned from some other Bo Burnham fans online that SSRIs are actually antidepressants. So I think it's interesting, being that depression is a big theme in Inside, and especially in this particular bit, it's very clear that this person, this video game person that he's playing, is suffering from some depression. The fact that he puts the joke in here that it is being made by SSRI Interactive is an interesting choice, and a little Easter egg for anyone who knows what those are, to immediately kind of recognize and understand what he's getting at there. I love that. So he titles the video game Inside, and then he says that it's an indie developer. He's not really sure. And I love there's multiple times throughout this bit where he kind of pokes fun at himself a little bit. It's either a little tongue-in-cheek, or sometimes it's tooting his own horn. Sometimes it's him being a little self-deprecating and poking fun at himself. But it's just really fun for us, the audience, to hear him say, like, oh, it's some indie developer, I'm not really sure. And it's like, well, it's him. And I'm going totally cold on this, despite the fact that he, is the sole creator of the whole thing. There's a lot of like little lingo in here. I'm not on Twitch, or I don't really watch video game streamers, but I know a lot of people do, and it was something that I think probably increased in popularity during the pandemic when everyone was stuck inside and needed to find things to do online because we couldn't do a lot of things in person. And so I'm sure that a lot of you probably spent a lot of your time during this time period, during 2020, 2021, doing things like this. Clearly Bo did too, and probably, still continues to this day. But I love that he made this bit to talk about that, to kind of, again, to me, Inside is a little bit of a time capsule for 2020 and 2021, kind of showing what life was like for a lot of people during that time. And so including a bit like this really goes along with that. And I love that he included just a lot of the lingo and stuff that people who participate in these kind of activities would understand and appreciate. Things like the thank you for the 3 months, calling everybody my dude. He says that he's going to be gifting subs, I think. Yeah, doing live plays, gifting subs. I love that he says the graphics look pretty good. Like, I know it's a cinematic, but the graphics look pretty good. Again, says the guy who made the graphics, who filmed and edited it. And I love all the little instructions like you would see at the beginning of a new video game that you're playing, like the press X to wake up, and all of those little details are really fun. So the video game itself opens on Bo sleeping, and then we see him video game Bo sleeping, and then we see him waking up. And then most of the rest of it happens in this shot. It's just, a widescreen shot of the room, and with video game Bo inside of it. And we see that it's, day 100 to day 253 that he has been in there. Again, press A to cry. I like the reference to escape rooms, because that's kind of what it is, right? It's kind of the story of him wishing he could escape the room, and then what happens at the end, again, defies our expectations of what it would have been like for him to leave the room. I personally love escape rooms in real life. I go do them. I've done them multiple times. I actually created a Clue-themed one for my library, and I'm working on a Stranger Things one now. It would be really fun to do. I would love to do an inside escape room. That would be pretty fun. I don't know how many people at my library would understand that reference, but yeah, who knows? Maybe one day I'll make that, but I love that line. And then, the fact that he's clearly not happy being in this room, and one of the first things he's able to do is to cry. It says, you can see on there in the subtitles, gentle video game music playing. Of course, the clip we just listened to didn't have the music, but for reference, the music in this clip is the Well, Well, Look Who's Inside Again song from earlier in the special, just kind of redone in more like a video game style, in that, yeah, gentle video game music. So that song fits perfectly for this bit, right? That it is about the guy who is stuck in the room again. And so it was a really nice choice for him to bring that melody back in this bit. And that he compliments himself on it. I like the music. The music is actually really nice on this, says the guy who wrote and performed it. And then he talks about the controls being really smooth. It's like a 2D setup. He can't control the camera. And we're like, yeah, you can't control the camera, for the reason that we've been talking about a lot in these videos, that because he did it by himself in the room with only one camera, he can't move it while he's, unless in like All Eyes on Me, he does finally at the end. But he can only do zooming in and zooming out in post. He can change up the camera angles between different shots, but for the most part, if he's in the middle of acting, performing, he can't move the camera. So the fact that he points that out in this video game setup, that his character in the game can't control the camera, or that he as the video game player can't control the camera, yeah, is funny. And yeah, I guess we'll cry again. Again, is the dude big or is the room small? Both, I think, are true. But again, the fact that he's poking fun at himself a little bit for his height is funny. That's what I'm confused about. Yeah, tries the door and it's locked. Yeah, just trapped a little bit. It's tough, dude. He's been in here a while. And I was able to get it on this screenshot paused where you can see right over here by the flashlight. And in the audio, there's a little ding noise that's giving him the hint that here, you should come pick up the flashlight. And he says, I don't like that. I don't know why they feel the need to give you the hint so quick. I wish I could just explore a little bit. And so he picks up the flashlight, and as he's swinging the flashlight around, as soon as it goes over the piano, another ding happens, and another little hint pops up that, oh, you should come investigate the piano. And so he presses X to play the piano, and as he's playing, he says, oh, he seems a little happier now. That's nice. And I love this because it, again, just points to the fact that for Bo, during this time, playing, making music, creating this special itself was his outlet and was the thing that kind of helped keep him sane and gave him some happiness, gave him something to be working on and doing, something that was a little fun and that he could express himself in that way. So the fact that he made it that the video game character also is a little bit happier when he can play the piano. And for a lot of us during the pandemic, art, like listening to music, watching movies and TV shows and all that kind of stuff, consuming art was what we did to occupy our time and to bring ourselves a little bit of comfort and happiness. So I think it doesn't apply just to Bo, but probably to a lot of us. A lot of people were taking up new hobbies and things, baking, all sorts of stuff. But when he's done with that, he's just going to cry again. There's like nothing else for him. I think he finally gets to the point where he's like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm in this little room. What else can I possibly do? And that's when he realizes that his character's day is now complete and he did everything he was supposed to do, at least in this level. And so it pops up that, he found the flashlight, played the piano, cry 4 times were the goals that he was supposed to accomplish that day. And my roommate that I lived with during the pandemic loves this bit. And sometimes I'll ask her, like, hey, what was life like during 2020? And she'll say, I'll cry, I guess, again. Because it was. Some days it felt like all you accomplished that day was, crying 4 times, but hopefully having some sort of a hobby or an outlet that made it a little bit better. So I think in this video game skit, he kind of perfectly sums up what days were like for a lot of people during the pandemic. I don't know anything about Death Stranding, so if you know what that is, I'm sure this joke is probably funny to you. I don't know, so... But it goes from him saying that, the day is complete, that level's over, and it says another night approaches. And as it does that, we go out of the video game mode here. But first he has to thank Dante for the 4 months. I think I've heard that kind of a theory that maybe he picked Dante because of Dante's Inferno and the pandemic. In this video game, he kind of felt maybe like he was in one of the many circles of hell. And so I think that's quite possible that might have been why he picked that. Earlier, he said JB was the other person he talked to. I have no idea if that could have any significance or anything. If you have ideas about that, let me know. But so it says another night approaches, and then it goes from that. The video game ends, and we go to Bo here, like real life Bo, pulling out the pull-out couch, and he's gonna lay down and go to sleep. But it's interesting that Twitch streamer Bo doesn't disappear when we switch out of video game mode. He stays up there for just a couple seconds, and you just see him kind of go over and turn off his camera. But for a few seconds, he's there, and like real Bo, not video game Bo, is there. And I think this lends itself to my sort of theory about the other kind of meaning or themes behind this bit and how they relate to some of the other things that we've talked about for previous bits in the special. And that is the idea of kind of dissociation and the kind of we talked about also in the unpaid intern skit where he was doing the reaction to the reaction to the reaction of himself. We also talked about it in the conclusion video about the fact that the end could be interpreted as him just kind of watching his life as a satisfied audience member. Here, he's playing his life like it's a video game. He's not really living it and experiencing it fully. He's just playing it like it's a video game. And if you haven't seen this actual video for this, again, go watch it because my screenshots cannot do justice to his performance in this, where he, is walking around and acting like he's a video game character. But even when he switches out of being a video game character, he's still sort of playing his life like it's a game and not living it in an embodied fashion, which again, I think goes back to some of those different mental health themes from before, and just how the internet does kind of fracture our personality a little bit, which he's talked about in other things as well. And so immediately here, right after this ends, Bo, like I said, lays down. He turns on the spotlight and he lays down in the spotlight, and he sees kind of that flash forward a little bit of a glimpse of the door opening, and then he goes to sleep. And that's where I think we talked about this in the bookends video. We talked about that little part briefly because that's the part when he falls asleep, and then much later, after All Eyes on Me, wakes up again. And so this is the beginning of that section that I kind of theorize is sort of a dream sequence. Also could be a depressive episode and or both. But so that's kind of the context of where this fits into everything. However, this little streamer Bo does pop up one other place in the special, and it's actually much, much earlier. If you blink, you will miss it, but it is right after FaceTime with my mom. There's like a little 15-second thing between FaceTime with my mom and White Woman's Instagram where he just comes out and sits down, and he's kind of waiting for the plane to go overhead, for the noise of the plane to stop so that he can record. And during that time, so really early in the special, for just like a brief, quick flash of a second, streamer Bo pops up in the frame. And again, you see that something pops up, but unless you like pause it at the right spot, you wouldn't see what it was. And at that point, if it's your first time watching it, you wouldn't know what it was that you were looking at. It would be a little confusing until much later when this bit actually happens. And I think, again, the reason that he chose to do that is partially to make things a little surreal and like remind yourself, like, yes, you're watching me, like my behind the scenes footage, but like this isn't really me. This is still me performing, and I'm again kind of watching myself as an audience member playing my life like it's a video game, even when it's like the real me or whatever. So super interesting that he chose to do that. I do really like this bit. I think it's really funny. I think it's really relatable probably to a lot of people. Again, it offers both the snapshot of what life was like, also talked about things like depression and mental health and dissociation and things like that. So I think there's several different layers to it. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this one. But if there's things I missed, or there's other interpretations or things that you have, or other thoughts you want to share, feel free to do that. If you haven't seen any of those other previous videos I just mentioned, I do have a playlist that I'll link that has all the different Bo Burnham breakdown videos we've done so far. I think there's another one or two non-musical bits that we'll probably do as well. If there are any bits or songs from Inside or Bo Burnham stuff in general that I haven't done yet that you would like me to do, let me know. I'd love to take your requests. But otherwise, I think that will probably be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. As always, thank you for watching.